Hello my crafty friends, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel. This is Sheree and I'm here today to share the third Christmas in July journal that I've made this month. And so this has been so fun just to make these three journals in July, for Christmas, even though it's July. So they're all unique and different. They're all in my eBay shop. And this is the scrappy tie I have for this one. So let me show you. It's not separate pieces. It's not, little pieces. It's just one long piece on this side, one long piece on this side. And I just happen to have these in my fabrics and scraps, things like that. So I made this side this kind of a, gingham color that, I thought went with the journal. And then this side, I had this red strip actually in my scraps too, and I just sewed these two together is all I did. And I like how it turned out because, well, I had an idea because when I did, I like to make journaling cards and I like to do the messy stitching, and so I thought, well, I've never done that on one of these like ties that I haven't made too many of these, but I've made a few of them, and I usually just do lines of stitching up and down, And this time I decided it would be fun to do messy stitching. So, and you can see it because it's a dark thread. So I thought that was, and it made it more interesting. So you can kind of see it there a little bit. And, that was fun. And I didn't really plan this, but I like how it turned out where this gingham is kind of in spots, not all the way, but in spots it's, a little smaller this way, or the width than the red. So it's in spots, the red peeks over, and I thought that turned out really pretty. Here I did have to add a piece to the gingham, so it really is a little scrappy, but it's fun, and it makes for a nice, fun, pretty actually tie closure for the journal. So I've just been, since I'm getting ready to clean up, and I've kind of cleaned up a tiny bit, and just as I pick things up, I just kind of been tucking them under that tie closure. So I've got a few goodies here. But here's what this third book, if you didn't, I showed that books to you that I was using, but in case you don't remember this one, it's called A Christmas Gifts of Good Taste, and it has what I call a homespun look to it. So very pretty, kind of very vintagey looking too. And there's all my decorated paper clips. The spine, I used this kind of gingham fabric that actually when I was picking out the fabric, I saw this and I was like, oh my goodness, it's like the same fabric that they have behind here. Not really the same, but it looks so close. So 2 signatures. Here's what the back of this book looks like. And I thought it would be fun to put these rustic looking bells along with this whole look of the journal. I've got some fabric ribbon tied on there. So I think it just really came out fun. And so let me show you the inside. The inside pages came out fun too. And I had a thought, I had a little thought that ran through my mind as I was getting ready to do this video about, how a lot of my journals are eclectic. And I was kind of taking pictures for the eBay listing, and it dawned on me that I think the reason I like to do eclectic journals so much with, random variety of pages and things, like I do some scrapbook paper and some coordinating, but I like the randomness of eclectic too, because I think, to me anyway, I think it almost seems more junk journaling, you know what I mean? Like it's not so like pristine. It's just more junk journaling. So I guess that's how I, in my own mind anyway, keep it more of a junk journal type journal. So plus a lot of the things are thrifted, so that's another element. But so let me show you the inside of the covers. I'm going to try to do this pretty quick so it doesn't take too long. So let me just kind of take off here for you. But card here. The cards, like here's another card. The cards all came from thrift stores or Happy Mail, whatever. They're all like never used, but not brought brand new. And so they both flip up like this, where you can write inside, and they both have a pocket behind. So in this first one, I just have this tag here, this is made from an Amazon catalog from last year, backed with some scrapbook paper. And this little tag here, super cute, just little elements decorating that. This is a punch I have of snowflakes. And then this little Christmas tree. I had some fun making these kind of primitive looking Christmas trees last year. This one's made out of a Christmas card. So that was fun. We did that. I did that. I think I did it on video, and I did it also with my friends at work. We did it at work one day on our lunch break, and they enjoyed it, even though it's just such a simple thing. They all thought it was fun. First, both the signatures are covered with this kind of checkered or gingham paper, and this is from Echo Park, in case you want to look for it. It's called the Christmas Plaid little collection kit. So yeah, I had picked that up. It was on sale a while ago, and I didn't really have any plaid, so I picked some up, and here it is. But I've got a little card clipped on here. I think this is an 80s. It doesn't have a date on it, but it looks like it's from the 80s probably. And I got it at a thrift store, and it's just clipped on there with a little really tiny clothespin. You can see that right there. And then I've got a little gingerbread decorating right there. So this is lightly decorated. You know, I wanted to mention in my own personal Christmas December daily or Christmas journal, whatever you want to call it, I like to have plenty of room to put. If I want to put I can even put a 5x7 picture in here, a 4x6, you know, a big Christmas card, little Christmas card, whatever. I like to have plenty of room to do things like that. So that's how I kind of make my journals for my shop too, and for you all, you know. Here I've got a little tuck spot with a piece of ephemera and a recipe card. This is from Taste of Home, and it's a candy cane cookies. I got these little booklets. I got a bunch of those little booklets. And whenever I find them, I get them because I like to cut the recipes, you know, apart. But, you know, I find those at thrift stores once in a while. Here's a little page here where you can color, find the difference, a little game also. I think that was from the placemats I got at a thrift store. This is a little drawing spot made from also that Amazon catalog from last year. This is a maze that I cut out of a page and backed it with some coffee dye paper. It's sewn around. It feels really neat, actually. I was surprised at how much I like that feeling of that little card. There's Franken papers, as you could see. You know, this one was sewn together. And this one is the opposite. Well, I'll show you when we get to the second. It's the opposite of the colors on the second signature. So Franken paper here again. Belly band. I've got some pretty ribbon. Postcard. Never used. And this is wrapping paper backed with some cool craft colored paper or something sewn around. A little drawing card. So those are tucked in there. Got a card here sewn into the signature with this little drummer boy. You've got the little poem here, or song, the words to the song, really, probably, and then a little holly berry decoration. There's several pages from the book in here. So this is from the book with some fabric ribbon. You see, the pages in this book were really pretty, so that's a really pretty page there. Computer stationery. This is Merry Christmas with this plaid. A wrapping paper tag here, backed with some brown paper sewn around. This is a little, this is an Christmas activity book that I put a couple pages in from that, so that's what this is. And it's got coloring on the back. There's envelope pockets in both signatures. So the envelopes I used in this signature are these long kind of, you know, longer kind of narrow ones, not really super narrow or anything, but, and then on all of the envelopes I put a little closure. This one has some fabric ribbon, and then inside this envelope are a couple of drawing cards made from Vintage Ideals magazines. Of course, all my Ideals magazines, I think they're all, are there any non-vintage Ideals magazines anymore? I don't know, but all mine are vintage from thrift stores. And then a drawing card here. Might need to take a drink in a second. And ledger paper, page from the book with that pretty, it's the same fabric ribbon I used on the bow with the bells there, but very pretty and vintagey. And it might be vintage, it's from a thrift store. The center of the signature with pages from this book. And then we're on the back half of this first signature. I've got a bingo card here decorated with a little Christmas bear. The back side of that envelope, or the second envelope in this signature, has this little my little stitched together strips as the closure on this one, and two, like a tag and journaling card, whatever you want to call these, backed with cardstock, and this just turned out really pretty. I love this one, how it turned out. This was a page that was this particular, these are both from Ideals magazines. This one was the oldest one I had, and the pages were kind of crinkly almost and cracking and stuff like that. So this one I tore out of that kind of crackling page and glued it down, kind of saved it there, and it just turned out so pretty. I have sewn around it too, kind of messy stitching sewed around that. So I did that last year. It just turned out so. I thought it was so pretty. Really, I love it. And so, and these envelopes just tuck right in like that. So then another activity page from a children's book. That computer stationery page from the book where I have a little button. It's like a metal button up here that I have on a paper clip. It keeps turning around though, but I kind of put it on here as a little charm. So yeah, can you see that okay? It's hard to get this. I might try to lift this camera up a little bit, but it's hard to get these bigger journals into the frame of a camera, in case you didn't notice, but you probably did. So, page from the book here, that back half of the Christmas card. Decorated a little bit on the back of the Christmas card with a piece of ephemera here. I thought this looked really cute, like it belonged there. And then I added this little gingerbread man. A drawing card here with some pretty Christmas ribbon. And then franken paper, little tally card, bridge tally card here that I had made into a booklet. Added this little decoration here. I think that was, I'm trying to think if that was wrapping paper or seal, Christmas seal. But that is decorating that tally card. So cute. Looks like it belongs there, like it was always there. But nope, I put that on there. That's a page. That's a placemat. Christmas, like a Christmas activity placemat. A vintage page, or a page from a vintage Christmas card organizing book. Little puffy sticker there that is a nutcracker. And then, so this is what I wanted to show you, the franken paper here of this Christmas plaid paper from Echo Park. It's the opposite, so you can see this one is like, this is kind of a reddish, it almost, I don't know how it comes across. It looks like it's looking a little orangey, and it probably is in the camera, but they called it Christmas plaid. So anyway, I thought it looked really good in here with this homespun look. And you can see these two colors are the opposite of these two colors, you know. I got the green and this color here. So second signature, and we got a little, this is a wooden Christmas tree. Tuck spot here with a little piece of ephemera, a little wreath. And this is also from, I believe this was also from Ideals magazine. I was using up one last year, and I just took all the pages and made something out of all of them. I either used them in a journal as a page, or I made ephemera. And so yeah, it was nice to use up one at least that. I think I tried to use up that really old one because the pages were getting so crinkly, and then I started working on a second one. You know, because I have quite a few Christmas ones for some reason. That's just what I found, right? So here is a page from another different Christmas activity book that is older, copyright 1983. It's not like 1950s or anything, but it just has beautiful colors. So you'll recognize it as, if you see these pretty colors, you'll recognize it in here. So see what I mean right here with the snowman. It's so pretty. And then franken page here. This is cardstock, pretty Christmas ribbon. And I put this in here because I just acquired some of this music that was, actually my husband gave it to me. Someone gave it to him, and he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, because he's into music, he plays different instruments and things like that. So I thought he might be interested. They gave it to him, and he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Do you want it? And I'm like, yes. And it was a lot of red and green, so I put it with my Christmas stuff, and look how pretty it is in here. And then here's the back of that. And then there's a little card that was a piece of ephemera with a cute little reindeer. And then the envelope in this signature is this shape, you know, bigger, kind of squarish almost, not square, but almost. The little tuck spot in this one is just a little vocabulary card here that says wish. And then in here, I have a bridge score sheet that's decorated with Christmas little pieces. And then this little card, journaling card that I made from that first long, narrow Christmas journal that I did for this month, for July. I made little drawing cards out of those pages in there. This is a page from this book. I love these little cookie cutter stars here in that cookie dough. Here's the other side of that page. Christmas card here. This has little gems on it and a pretty cardinal. This is how the inside was. I didn't do anything here, and it just was really, really pretty. Another decorated with some pieces of ephemera bridge score sheet. And then this next page, well, I have, this is white on this side of the page, and it has a little holly berry decoration right here in the corner. And this is a calendar, the big calendars I recently brought home and showed you in one of my Thrifty Thursdays. This is one of the Chinese ones, a page from that. I just loved all the red on here, so I put one in here. Christmas stationery, and a little tag made from it's actually a to from tag, and I just made it into a punched a hole. There's a little eyelet there with some bike baker's twine, and made that into a cute little tag. And in the center of this second signature, and then we're on the back half, so here's a pretty tag here. Just put together some pretty things. I made all these ephemera I made last year, so last Christmas time. Actually in December, you know, November, December, whenever it was that I made those. And then that Christmas stationery with the holly on it's so pretty. It makes a nice frame here for whatever you want to put on here. The calendar, the card. See how this is pretty here. It has that same colors and decoration. And I added a little poinsettia there. Page from the book. The other envelope in this back second signature, I've got a little price tag there for the tuck spot for the flap, and then this envelope has some note paper in here. You can see I've got a few pieces of that Christmassy note paper. A little bit of glue on there. I think if I can get that off, I'll be able to slide it in a little bit better, because it's pretty tight, but it fit in there, so I wanted to. Oh, it's sliding in good. It's like it just barely. I don't want to cut it down. I mean, I can easily cut it down and it'll fit in, it'll slip in there easier. But I really didn't want to cut it down, you know what I mean? So I'll work on that later and put it in there so it doesn't get wrinkled or messed up or anything. And then there's a guest check here. And it's decorated with, this is some fabric that I cut out, this little decoration. I fussy cut it out of actually a piece of fabric and put it on here. And it just turned out so pretty. I think I made those a couple years ago, quite a few of them, so I still have a couple. The music, and I added this little piece of ephemera here. It says holiday greetings. Love that. Like a little sign. Some of that red and Christmassy. It's a grosgrain ribbon, so it's a real nice ribbon. One of my little booklets that I made into like a little journal, made out of it, you know, one of the little gift cards. So pretty. I made a bunch of those last year too. This is from that other 1983 activity book. See the colors again? So pretty. The back page of this signature, where I have a little card here of ephemera. That's a tuck spot. And then I made this is a die cut made out of wrapping paper. And there's what it's like on the back. So this can be a pocket somewhere. If you need a pocket, you know, somewhere, or a tuck spot, it would be a cute little pocket, or whatever you want to do with it. I mean, you can make a card with it and use this for your little focal point or whatever. So, just whatever, just something for you to have fun with. And it's got the little stitch marks around the outside, so that turned out really cute. The back card here that flips open. I love the colors on this one. I've got a little door hanger in here. A shaker, trying to disappear on me. A shaker pocket or a journaling card, whatever you want it to be. But it's sewn around with gold thread, and so that turned out really pretty. So that's in there. You can glue it down and make a pocket if you want. And then just some of my stitched together little strips here that these are all, I made a bunch of these last year out of my Christmas strips, and I put them in with my Christmas stuff so that they wouldn't really, wouldn't have to have them out here with everything else all year long and trying to sort through them and find the non-Christmassy ones. So I just put a bunch of these in my stash, Christmas stash last year as I put things away and sewed those together. And so now I have them to tuck into journals this year and to use. So that is the journal. As I said, it was in my shop. All 3 journals are, they may or may not be in my shop when you see this. You can check it out. The link's below. And I just, as I was kind of cleaning up, I just kept tucking things under the little bow. And this is a card. These are actually not new. I mean, these are new, but this I actually got at the thrift store. It was at the thrift store, I think, last year. And I picked some of those up. These little hearts are so cute. And then I just tucked in some scraps here. They're nice, kind of good size scraps that you can make tags or pockets with. Here's a couple of little ones. You can make little tags or whatever. And you can punch, if you have a paper punch, little shapes. Here's another tag. I just had to put this one in here because it goes so well with the colors. And then, what else do I have? A recipe divider card, and I put this little piece on here, and I thought that was pretty. I thought somebody might like that. A little tag that was hanging out on my desk, made from something, wrapping paper or something. So I thought that was pretty. Some little pieces of, this is a piece of ribbon. This is a little piece of fabric from the fabric that I used on the spine, and this could be real pretty in a tag. Just kind of a, instead of a ribbon, use this, and you just get that kind of primitive homespun look with something like that. And then this little card. I have a lot of things. This envelope doesn't open unless you want to wet it and then open it and then let it dry. But you could just use it as a base, for making a tag or a journal card. Here is the actual card that came with it. This little invitation card. This is a little vintage card. It's so cute. It's got a date here. So something like 1950, 78. It looks, I think, just off the top of my head. It looks like it might be 1978 there. And then some more little pieces. I love using all these little scraps, so that's why I include them. I think that, whoever gets them, I think we all love pretty little scraps. And then one little tag, a little puppy with his Christmas poinsettia and his Santa hat that you can make into a tag or whatever. Use them to make a decoration or a tag or whatever you want. And I think that is it. And I was going to show you, let me go grab it real quick. And I'm going to show you the journals I'm going to make next. The books I'm going to turn into journals. Just 1 second. Okay, real quick, I wanted to show you because I'm so excited about making these into journals. These are books I brought home recently. And so I picked out these 3 paperback books out of the books I brought home recently. And so I'm going to make these into journals. There's a little Richard Scarry word book, it's called. I just thought that was so cute. This was so cute when I found it. And so I'm going to make these 3 into journals that are bound with the metal coils. I think that's just the perfect way to turn a paperback book like this into a journal. And I've done it before a few times, and they always turn out so cute. So I kind of can't wait to do this. So this little one here, this is what it looks like now. 95 cents. So cute. And then this one, so adorable. This is white. This one has, let me see. Let me show you again. I want to see what this has on the inside of the cover. Okay, so this one I would leave the inside of the cover like it is. Oh yeah, I'm not covering that up. Okay. And then, but this one, here's the front, here's the back. I'll put something over this. And then also the insides are white, so that gives me the opportunity. It's wide open for me to put something pretty there. So this is already thick, you know, cardstock. This too, so this will be sturdy enough without another layer, but this will be like double cardstock probably on the back of here, so it'll be double cardstock cover. And this I will leave. I'm not going to cover. I don't think I can cover that up. I think if somebody's a Mercer Mayer fan, that they will not want this covered up, because these little pictures are so cute, and it's never been written on. It's so in such nice condition. It says this book belongs to, and somebody can keep that and leave that right there, or they can actually put a little something there if they want to after somebody gets it. But 1988, and then I just want to see what's inside the back cover. Oh, the same thing. Okay, so that will not be covered up. So, and I can put something here, I think, though. Yeah, I might put something here, like even a page from the book could be cute there. We'll see about that. I'll have to look through here and see if there's little, like, I don't know about that one. Like something that covers the whole page would be cool, maybe, if I can find it. That could be cute. Oh, this, but I just thought this one, I picked out this one because I just thought that was a good way to start out using this really cute one here. Just my friend and me. I just thought that was so adorable. So that's what you can look forward to. And if I get these done before the end of July, I'll pull out some more of the paperback ones and do a few more. And then we'll see what I have planned for August. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the homespun Christmas. And all three are just very unique. If you didn't see all three flip-throughs, maybe you want to look back and just see how different they are as far as, you know, one's a notebook binder. This one is a 2 signature, but it's a, you know, a bigger book. And the first one is that tall, narrow book. So those were so fun to make 3 really different journals like that. So thanks for watching. I'll stop talking and I'll let you go, and I'll see you in my next video. Everybody have a great day. See you then.